Cleaning up after Denver's wettest winter day in more than 17 years. That's easier said than done. A Sunday spent breaking backs, shoveling that sloppy, slushy, heavy snow.
So we would tell you to check out Highway 36 in Boulder this afternoon, but there is not much to see with the fog out there so thick. The National Weather Service says the melted snow evaporating into the air created a big patch of fog on the northern side of the metro area today.
Let's now bring in Corey Reppenhagen. Everything melted today, but that presents its own new problem.
Yeah, it could refreeze overnight. We're going to get some cold temperatures, and that fog could be an issue periodically through the night and into tomorrow morning. So, that groundhog, he'd never been so right before. He said it was going to be in early spring, and the next day we got spring, which in Colorado means very heavy, wet snow, and that's what we got. Here's the results from that big slushy storm. As far as the snowfall goes, this is pretty normal. It's not going to be a historic storm. These numbers they wouldn't even make the top 50 in any of these categories, but when you add the rain that fell before that into the total precipitation, we got records in Boulder, Fort Collins, Arvada, most of the west side of the Denver metro, and Denver with a little bit more than a quarter inch over the 2 days, the sixth wettest February storm. So very significant there. Though fog issues could be through the night. Looks clear as a bell here, 23 degrees out at Denver International Airport. It's actually 31 degrees here at the downtown Denver 9 News. Here's your forecast as you go through the night, heading down to about the low 20s, guys.
It's going to be slick out there with all that melting stuff. Corey, thank you.
Now, while the sunny Sunday sure did its best to wipe clear the snowy Saturday that we saw here in town, still plenty of work for people as well today.
9 News reporter Rachel Krause caught up with folks in town who were shoveling sidewalks and driveways from this weekend's winter weather.
There's some who revel in a good snow.
Good grief.
Others hate to clear it away.
I don't know why I live here.
For Sadie Butler and Elizabeth Dooley, their home got a lot of this slushy, heavy stuff.
Like 10 inches?
Yeah, I feel like 10 to 14.
If I had to guess, yeah.
I had to eyeball it.
Enough that they had to shovel out their friend's car trying to get up the driveway.
Yeah, we got stuck. She got stuck.
So they're stuck shoveling as best they can.
There's like a tiny one in there. Do you get a tiny one?
Patrick McGann works inside Advent Health Porter's ER. He says when the snow is heavy like we saw this weekend, people are at a higher risk for injury, even heart attacks.
A lot of the times we do see patients that are out shoveling, they're doing more exertion on their heart than they typically do, and they come in with chest pain. Sometimes that can lead to, cardiac events that need to get taken care of.
Their ER saw someone come in with a cardiac issue from shoveling today. McGann says if you've got a shovel, take it slow.
So I think people should just listen to their body. Basically taking breaks, making sure that they're taking their time and not overexerting themselves.
After clearing half their driveway, Elizabeth and Sadie aren't planning to finish the job tonight.
No,
Absolutely not.
we're gonna go watch the Grammys, eat some guac, eat some chips. We're done.
But they're hopeful after such a white weekend. It's the last big snow they'll have to clear away for a while.
That's the hope.
Months. Next year, maybe. That'll be fine.
In Arvada, Rachel Krause, 9 News.
Intermountain health physicians say you got to warm up and stretch before you head outside to shovel. This is a workout.
Yeah, and use a bigger shovel than that little kind of like trowel shovel.
Seriously.
There. They also suggest you lift with your legs when you're out shoveling. Take breaks every 15 to 20 minutes to hydrate and catch your breath. Over in California, the second round of intense storms is flooding roads and knocking out power to hundreds of thousands of people right now. Strong winds are ripping out trees and taking down power lines. Parts of the San Francisco Bay Area are at risk for water spouts coming ashore and turning into tornadoes. People in some Southern California communities are under evacuation orders because of flash flood and mudslide concerns there. Some spots could get up to a foot of rain by the time this storm moves out on Tuesday.
New video shows the moment bullet started flying in Denver's Green Valley Ranch neighborhood overnight. This just came into our newsroom in the last 30 minutes. Neighbors' security cameras capturing that shootout. It went on for more than 30 seconds. 6 people ended up shot outside this home. 2 of them have died. Police now say the shooting happened at a house party. They say a group of party crashers showed up, got into a fight, and then several people started shooting.
Police say the teenager who died wasn't involved in the fight. 9 News reporter Janelle Finch talked to neighbors in Green Valley Ranch.
Ring camera footage from a nearby home captured gunshots on North Orleans Court around 1:20 a.m. Denver police received a call to respond. As the sun came up, shell casings were found littered on the street, leading to several people waking up to find themselves in the middle of a crime scene. DPD said officers found 6 victims. DPD confirmed 2 of the victims had died, 1 adult man and 1 person younger than 18. Officers weren't able to confirm the conditions of other injuries. The neighbor who shared that Ring camera video with us says he came home just a few hours after the shooting. He says he found his home taped off and police told him to park on another street. He says he felt like he couldn't leave all day because of the active investigation just steps away. Denver police investigators spent the morning hours after the shooting with metal detectors and cameras processing the scene.
We've learned from neighbors over the course of today that this is a relatively quiet neighborhood, so a large police presence of any kind is definitely going to draw a lot of attention and a lot of questions that we still don't have answered at this time. In Green Valley Ranch, Janelle Finch, 9 News.
Police have not made any arrests yet. They're hoping that some witnesses who may have left before police showed up will reach out to investigators and share what they saw.
Police in Denver say a suspect bit off an officer's finger during his arrest. It happened yesterday afternoon. Police say that officers got a call about a possible assault in the alley behind a restaurant just south of DU. They say Tyron Brooks was standing over a woman sitting on the ground, clearly terrified. Police say that officers tried to grab Brooks's arms and then he grabbed a fence. They took him to the ground, but they say he turned onto his back and bit through an officer's finger. Other officers managed to handcuff him and take him into custody. Brooks is now in jail on suspicion of assault of an officer, plus outstanding warrants for extortion.
This week, attorneys from Colorado will argue before the nation's highest court over the unprecedented decision to remove Donald Trump from our Republican primary ballot. On Thursday, the Supreme Court will hear arguments in this case. Colorado's Supreme Court decided the former president is an insurrectionist and he's ineligible for the ballot under the 14th Amendment. Trump's team is appealing, saying only Congress can rule on that part of the Constitution and claiming January 6th was not an insurrection. Trump's name will be printed on Colorado's primary ballot, but we will have to wait for the Supreme Court to decide if he's actually eligible. 9 News will have a crew bringing you the very latest from the Supreme Court on Thursday. And by the way, tomorrow marks 1 month until Election Day in Colorado.
Tomorrow also marks when some migrant families will need to leave Denver's shelters. A decision that the city didn't come to easily, but it will mean roughly 800 families need to find a different place to go. Our Angeli McCall has been following the migrant crisis for the past year, Angeli.
Yeah, Steve, just today I was speaking with a woman looking up hotel rooms for a family she's helping. They need to be out of the shelter tomorrow. The city had previously paused shelter exits because of the weather. That's why we saw encampments during the fall and early winter, but then we saw fewer more recently. But with some families now in the shelter for a couple of months, if not longer, the city says there is no space for migrants who arrive today, for instance, or tomorrow. So beginning Monday will be the first of several shelters that families will have to leave. Different shelters will stagger their exits over the next few days. Here's what Yoli Casas with Vive Wellness says is her major concern.
I've never seen so many people come and so many people in the last year that are going to come out February 5th. So February 5th for me, it's a date that hurts a lot because it's a date that we have to, for various reasons, we're full. There's just no more space. It's when we start discharging the families who have been in for about 2 months.
Yoli says the day that she is most worried about is Wednesday because tomorrow, for instance, is just one shelter that people will have to leave from, the next day another. And so by Wednesday, all of those shelters will start compounding on each other, meaning more migrants will all be exiting at the same time. Steve?
Yeah, it's a scary situation. Angeli McCall, appreciate it.